Can intermittent fasting actually sabotage your gains? Well, in this video, let's find out. Hi, I'm Coach D. Thank you for coming back to my channel. So, today we're going to talk about intermittent fasting. This has been a question that has come up recently amongst my clientele, so I thought it'd be perfect to make an informational video about it. Now, intermittent fasting, which is a very, very big, weight loss method, fat burning method amongst the fitness industry. You hear coaches, fitness enthusiasts, gym goers, all of that, right? Talk about intermittent fasting. But do a lot of people talk about the fact that intermittent fasting can actually sabotage your muscle gains if not used properly? Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say that intermittent fasting is not one of those things where it should be considered, because it is a great tool to use if known how to do properly. So, you might ask, if you're not familiar, what is intermittent fasting? To be honest with you, the short and dirty version of it is intermittent fasting is just time restricted eating. It's a period of time where you allow your body to consume food, and the other portion of it, you just allow your body to relax and consume the food as energy. That's basically it. That's all there is to it. There's no magic pill to it. And the overall goal is for you to burn fat. That's really what intermittent fasting does, because once it runs out of the food that it's using for energy, it's going to pull at your fat stores for energy. So that is really the basic, short and sweet version of what intermittent fasting is. You don't have to get into the science of it. It is literally time restricted eating to burn fat. What are the benefits of intermittent fasting? Amongst the top three for me: weight loss, the metabolic conditioning. Also, the most awesome is its healing properties within the body. You literally can combat cancer with fasting, Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol. The list goes on and on. Amongst the physical properties, it is very, very good at increasing your human growth hormone, right? It is very, very good for keeping, illness away from your body, as far as colds, um, flus. It just has a really, really deep healing property. It really is good to help with brain fog and clarity. There's so many benefits to intermittent fasting. It's just particular to the person. What is it that you need it for? Most of us know intermittent fasting for its weight loss, properties. It is good for weight loss because it helps us to restrict the calorie intake. Most of you know, or maybe you don't, is when you are in a caloric deficit, meaning that you are burning more calories that you are intaking, your body starts to burn calories, and it starts to want to lose weight, right? It starts want to use food that we have within our bodies for energy. When our body burns energy, it burns calories, therefore helping us to burn fat, helping us to lose weight, right? So, with that, intermittent fasting is a great tool because it helps you to restrict your calorie intake, helps you with your portion sizes, and it just helps the body to calm down. It helps with insulin and glucose sensitivity. It helps to, keep those levels and those hormonal imbalances down, so that way that you're not overeating, you're not being a glutton, you're not like craving sugars. So intermittent fasting has very, very great properties. Now, the only thing I would say with intermittent fasting is to really be careful with how you're utilizing it. And I say that because, there are very, very different, we're not going to say consequences. We're going to say there are very many things that can happen to your body. There's a lot of results that could stem from intermittent fasting. Like, you can get dehydrated. So, what to do with that? Make sure you're drinking electrolytes. If you're going to, intermittent fast, while you're intermittent fasting, get some electrolyte packs in your body. Help the body to stay balanced, okay, with the electrolytes, right? Make sure that you're consuming enough water while you are in your intermittent fasting stage. That is going to help you beat any hunger cravings. That's going to help you meet your fasting windows. And that's also going to help you stay hydrated as well, right? So make sure that you are literally getting that in. I highly recommend it. It's going to help you not get any hangovers, as far as not hangovers, yeah, headaches. Lord have mercy. Well, I mean, because look, a headache can come and feel like a hangover too. So look, I ain't even about to, I was about to edit that out, because I swear, goodness, a headache could feel like a hangover. So yes, make sure that you are getting that in. Make sure that you're getting your electrolyte packets in, right? I would also say to keep the same schedule. Keep the same schedule as much as possible to keep your body, um, keep your body stable. Make sure that if you're doing a 16, fast in an 8 hour window, that you're doing it at the same time every day or around the same time. I would say don't fluctuate too much between an hour. If you're normally, start eating at 11 o'clock, I wouldn't go past 12 o'clock. Keep your body on a schedule, right? Make sure that you're making sure that you're keeping that clock running. When you are intermittent fasting, you want to make sure that you are still getting your recommended amount of calories in, your recommended amount of macronutrients, which is your protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Now, this is where a lot of people go wrong, right? Because when you're intermittent fasting, like I mentioned earlier in the video, it could suppress your appetite, right? It makes the body not as hungry as it usually is because, hey, it's learned how to survive off of just burning the fats that's already in your body. So you have to be careful and make sure that you are still sticking on a schedule to eat your food. So one way to do this is to set a timer. Set a timer on your phone for every 2 hours. Eat your breakfast, then eat your snack, eat your lunch, then your other snack, then your dinner. And then if you have a late night snack, make sure that, well, no, you can't have a late night snack because you're on an intermittent fasting right now, right? So I'm not an intermittent fasting queen. I literally eat throughout the day because I like to lift heavy. I like to keep a lot of lean muscle. So if you are going to intermittent fast, you have to make sure that you're squeezing all those recommended amount of calories, macros, everything into that window, y'all. Also, avoid artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are a disaster for keeping your insulin glucose levels leveled out. And that is one of the main reasons why we fast, is to help the body to regulate the hormones, right? So if you're putting artificial sweeteners in your body, you are just, you're combating what you're trying to do. You are sabotaging what you're trying to do. So make sure you stay away from artificial sweeteners. My coffee drinkers, drink it black. That's another good way to help your body stay within its fasting window. Caffeine is a natural appetite suppressant for people, but it's also a metabolism booster, right? So I would say to make sure that you're drinking your caffeine at the top of the day, making sure that you're sticking between, y'all, we don't need a lot of caffeine. If you're going to do coffee, do it black. You can't really do anything with black coffee. Like, you can't even do your stevias and things like that. Get you some, some raw honey. Just make sure it's not an artificial sweetener, y'all, because you're gonna really, really, you're gonna really, really, um, mess up your intermittent fasting. I promise you. Like, when I've done intermittent fasting, and it does work. It really does work. I've done it during my bodybuilding stages, and it helps to get that fat off immediately. But like I said, it's going to also burn off a lot of muscle. So now let's go into that, right? So using intermittent fasting to burn fat. It is an excellent way to burn fat, guys. I promise you, it is a great tool to burn fat. But with that, runs the risk of burning off a lot of lean muscle. A lot of people that I know who intermittent fast, how should I put this? They don't look very toned. They look, um, you can run the risk of looking skinny fat, but it's all in the way that you do this. And we're gonna talk about that. But you run the risk of burning off a lot of muscle because you're not feeding the body what it needs to grow muscle. Muscle really needs food to grow. It needs significant amount of protein, and it needs a significant amount of carbohydrates. Okay, let's go into why we need these things. So intermittent fasting can really, really restrict your caloric intake, like we were talking about in the video. So that's how you run the risk of, burning off a lot of lean muscle, because you're not getting enough to really grow significant muscle. Significant muscle needs food in order to grow. It's just that simple. And most people are just not eating enough right now, period. Like, even if you're not intermittent fasting throughout the day, I have consulted with so many people who've told me, oh, I've had one meal and it's 7 o'clock p.m., it's 9 o'clock p.m. out there running around with their kids and, just things like that. That it's just not getting enough food in. So when you throw intermittent fasting in there, you're going to run the risk of just not trying to eat at all because your body is so used to running on its natural fat stores. It does not see the need for food for energy, right? It does not know that we need food. We just know we're used to running on us. We're used to being in this fight or flight mode because we don't have enough extra energy. So we're going to just store everything we need through whatever we get. And we're not going to burn it off because we don't know the next time when we're going to get it. That's just how the body works. This is the simple beginner's way to understand why intermittent fasting is probably not the best solution for those who are trying to muscle build. If, this is a big if you do not have the discipline to make sure that you have that caloric intake throughout that intermittent fasting window. When I say that, I mean, guys, you have to make sure that if you require 1,500 calories, if you require, let's say, 160 grams of protein to do what you need to do for your body to grow significantly, for it to grow that lean muscle, you got to make sure that you're getting it in within that window. You have to make sure, because if not, you start running into what we call, what is it called? Gosh, muscle cat. Oh my goodness, why am I missing this word? Muscle catabolism. This is when the body starts eating away at the muscle for the energy. The body is like, hey, we got energy here, we got energy there. So we're going to pull it from all these different places and it's going to start attacking that muscle, y'all. It's going to start attacking that muscle. So let's go a little bit further into muscle catabolism. So muscle catabolism, like I said, that's when the body starts to eat away at the muscle. And how we can combat that is making sure that we eat enough, but also through your workouts, you got to perform. You got to put up those weights. You got to beat the body. You have to literally make sure that you are, working out tough, working out strong. You got to make sure that you're in there lifting. You have to make sure that you're doing weight bearing exercises. Cardio is not going to do it. Cardio is for cardiovascular health. Weightlifting exercises are for muscle growth. They're for bone health, and it's for joint health. Make sure that if you are intermittent fasting and you want to see muscle growth, that you are hitting the weights and you are hitting them hard. If you do not, I promise you, you're going to see all the depletion of your muscle. All right. Second thing, you need to make sure that you're getting adequate amounts of protein. So, adequate amounts of protein, what does that mean? 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So, if you weigh 150 pounds, you need to be getting 150 grams, Lord, of protein in your body. You want to see significant growth while intermittent fasting? Prioritize protein. If you can't get anything else in there, prioritize protein. Some great protein sources. Chicken, steak is, oh my goodness. Steak, very lean cut steak. I tell you, that is like the ultimate source of protein. Yes. And then your protein shakes and making sure that you have adequate whole foods, eggs, like all of these things play a factor. You even have different foods that has protein in it. Your vegetables, some of your vegetables have protein in it. A lot of you guys don't know that. So all of the different foods that you have that are whole foods have protein in it. But making sure that you get your lean sources like your chicken, your fish, your turkey, your steaks, your protein supplements is going to help you to get that protein in, right? In short, intermittent fasting is great for fat burning, it's great for weight loss, but it also runs the risk of you burning off significant amount of muscle if you do not prioritize your eating, your weight bearing exercises, and making sure that within that fasting window that you are actually feeding your body what it needs to grow. You cannot be in a significant deficit And, you cannot be in a significant deficit to the point where your body starts to eat at your muscles. That's just not how it works. You got to make sure that your body has what it needs in order for you to burn fat and build muscle. So intermittent fasting is a beautiful tool. You just have to make sure that you're ready to deal with all the things that comes with it. You got to make sure that you're able to stick to a schedule. You have to make sure that you're able to keep your hormones in check by doing all the things we talked about. The electrolytes, maybe doing some coffee, to keep yourself appetite suppressed until you can eat, making sure that you drinking some water while you're intermittent fasting. And guys, I'm not going to say that this is something that is easy. A lot of trainers and gym enthusiasts and people that you'll hear about on the internet who talk about intermittent fasting have been doing this for years, because intermittent fasting is a really advanced tool. So you got to make sure that you're ready and prepared when you're trying to intermittent fast, so that your body can handle it, so that your mind can handle it. Because if you're sitting at the desk fiending like, oh my goodness, I am starving, I'm oh my goodness, I don't know if I can do this. And then you start just binge eating, and you're sending your glucose levels and insulin levels like through the roof, like you're literally starting to crave and want, because you're still not satisfied. You're not satisfied because you're not getting enough calories in that intermittent fasting window. But with outside of that fasting window, you're not even doing the proper steps that you need to do. You got to make sure that you're getting those electrolytes in, keeping a schedule, making sure that you're hydrated, and just making sure that you are setting a schedule for when you get into that eating window. Every 2 hours, make sure you're eating something. Make sure you're getting your protein in. Make sure that it's quality protein. It's not fast food. It's not stuff that's going to have artificial sweeteners in it that's going to spike your levels and just blow everything that you're working for out the window. Okay. So these are some simple tips on intermittent fasting, how it can help you with fat burning, how it can help you with lean muscle growth. But just make sure before you take this journey that you're ready to embrace everything that comes with it, so that you can do it the proper way. You can do it the way that's going to really benefit your health, your wellness, and also keep that lean muscle growth that we all need, especially as women, as we get older, and for people in general, for longevity. All right. So until next time, peace out.